Small, medium-sized enterprise peer-to-peer roundtable. The SM series provide a unique format for you to gain access to engage key stakeholders. These stakeholders represent government, senior matter experts, and other SMEs who are here to lend their knowledge and experience in an unscripted, interactive discussion on the most pressing issues of the day. The series are really designed for two aspects for SMEs. It's to grow your business, how we can do that, where to get new business, how to acquire new business, and it includes networking with key stakeholders in government, large organizations, and of course your peers. The second is saving you money, particularly in today's discussion theme, how to improve efficiencies in existing operations and cost-efficient sources of money, services, equipment, etc. I would very much like to welcome our webcast viewing audience that are with us from across Ontario, from the variety of Chamber of Commerce, from Ottawa, Oshawa, Barrie, the Enterprise Toronto, and so forth. Thank you very much. If you have a question on the webcast audience, please email them, as some of you already have been, to webcast, that's WEBCAST, @directengagement.com. Please note that today, Steve Orsini, he's the Assistant Deputy Minister with the Office of the Budget and Taxation, will be taking the place of Darcy McNeil, who was listed. He is the Director of Communication for the Office of the Minister at the Ministry of Finance. The format of the roundtable, briefly, each panelist will be provided 3 minutes to expound on the discussion theme presented here today from their unique perspective. Once all panelists have made their points of the discussion, they will be afforded an opportunity to redirect or make additional comments. Panelists will also be provided a minute for closing remarks. Today's discussion, it's the single sales tax, or the harmonized sales tax, and it's about increasing competitiveness. The business community and politicians from different sides of the aisle concurred that the harmonization of sales tax introduced in the 2009 Ontario budget is perhaps the most important thing Ontario could do to save jobs and position its economy for the future. Experts agree that the single sales tax will assist SMEs' competitive position. So we're here to learn more on how the single sales tax will benefit your organization and how you can take advantage of it. And I'm pleased to present our first panelist, the Honourable Harinder Takhar, Minister of Small Business and Consumer Services. Now, the Honourable Harinder Takhar was elected in Ontario's legislature in 2003 and has served as Ontario Minister of Small Business and Consumer Services since 2008. In addition to that, in his private life, he has held leadership positions with several Canadian companies, including Agra Industries Limited, Linear Technology Inc., Genom Corporation, and Timex Canada. For more information, you can also go on www.sbe.gov.on.ca. Please welcome the Honourable Harinder Takhar.
Thank you, Stephen, and I also really like to join you to welcome everyone who is present here and also have joined us online. And I think, I'm sure, after today's session, we all will learn a little bit more about the harmonization of the GST and the provincial sales tax. And I have a great, the panelists here join me here, and they're going to share their opinions as well. But let me just talk a little bit about the history. I think going back to 1991, the federal government replaced the hidden manufacturer sales tax with the GST. And since then, the 4 provinces have joined us, as well, and harmonized the GST and their provincial sales taxes. Today, Ontario is one of the 5 provinces that are still using the old retail sales tax system. With Ontario's plan to move to single value-added tax system, we would improve our tax competitiveness. And I think it's all about competitiveness and creating jobs. And it will also give us a little edge over our major competitor, which is the United States. So how do we know the proposed single tax will make our businesses more competitive? Because 3 other provinces like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and Labrador, they have adopted a single value-added tax since 1997. And the in-depth study has been done of those 3 provinces by very senior economists like Michael Smart he's a professor of economics at the University of Toronto, and he's also fellow of the C.D. Howe Institute. And his feeling is that it has improved the competitiveness, and it has even increased the investment in machinery and equipment by about 12%. Today we pay interior retail sales tax or the provincial sales tax, whatever you want to call it, and on many of the purchases that the business people will make. And most of my comments are going to be for-profit organizations. But unlike the GST, which is a flow-through tax, the provincial sales tax actually is not a flow-through tax. It becomes a part of the cost. Because it becomes a part of the cost, then it becomes a part of the product cost, and there's a markup associated with that as well. But if we decided to move to if we go to the GST, GST is a flow-through tax. Actually, whatever the GST is paid by any manufacturer or for a profit organization, actually they can claim it back. If they can claim it back, it doesn't become a part of their cost, so it makes them more competitive compared to the provinces or the states which actually have taxes included in their prices. The other portion is that if we move to the one sales tax, which is harmonization of a provincial sales tax and the GST, it also reduces paperwork and other burden on businesses as well. And our estimate is that it saves about $500 million to the business people just moving towards it, because then they have to have will have only single set of forms, single auditors, single rules and regulations, and they will have to file one return as well. The other is eliminating of hidden taxes. The third way business owners will save the single value added taxes through the elimination of hidden taxes that you are now paying every day. And the impact of that again is, it basically makes you more competitive. The smallest business, those with the taxable sales of less than $30,000 will enjoy the same exemption they are now enjoying under the GST. And to reduce the administrative burden and complexity, Interior will parallel the federal sales tax for small suppliers threshold as well. And these small businesses won't have to register or collect the proposed single sales tax, but if they do, they can register to claim input tax credits to their suppliers. And as I said before, the experience of the Atlantic Canada has shown that the net effect for consumer is that the cost of items but were already taxed by the retail sales tax will decrease. And hopefully when your cost decreases in the business, and the business people will pass on that in terms of the price reduction to the final consumers. And that should be the added benefit of it, because if they become more competitive and their cost is reduced, then they can pass it on. There is no question for some items the tax will go up, but it should not go up to the full 8% either. The reason for that is because there will be a less markup and so on, and so the price should be reflected in the prices. But in addition to that, the government has given about $10.6 billion in tax reductions to the consumers to actually reduce the impact of this the harmonization taxes to them as well. We realize that making the transition to a single value-added tax is going to mean some changes to your point of sales accounting systems. Most businesses with less than $2 million in annual revenue from taxable sales would be eligible for a transition tax credit of about $1,000. So in conclusion, I think we're going to have a lot more discussion on that. I can say is that the whole tax system is designed to actually make the other businesses, people more competitive, and actually also to create jobs as well. And some people will question, the timing of that. Why are we doing this when the economy is so slow? And to that, I will say, I think there's no better time than to do it right now, because our businesses need all the help that we can provide to them at this point of time. And almost all the Chamber of Commerce